his bed, staring at the wall opposite to his room's only window. He didn't greet me as I entered the living room, didn't so much as flinch at the stomping of my boots against the floorboards. That wasn't new. Sighing, I dropped my book on the floor aside the couch and buried my face in my hands. I couldn't concentrate on my assigned reading, futilely rereading the same passage over and over again. My mind kept drifting back to Antonio, that immortal, living statue gawking at nothing only a few feet away from me. It was also impossibly peculiar. The man cleaned himself, ate food, drank water. According to his doctor, he was remarkably healthy for someone in their mid-90s, too. He was on track to make it 100, maybe more, but he didn't talk, not anymore, and he moved only when he absolutely needed to. His sessions with all the grieving townsfolk had long since come to an end because of his mutism. Eli's parents, for whatever it's worth, were the last to go. His strange candlelight vigils from within the circle of birdhouses hadn't ended with the sessions, though. Sedan, on my way to pick up a pack of cigarettes. The thought of him surrounded by his birdhouses in dead of night doing God knows what made a shiver gallop over my shoulders. When I pulled my head from my hands, the sun had fully set, and house had darkened further. I couldn't see through the blackness into Antonio's room. I snapped out of my musings and scrambled to flick on a light, gasping with relief when it turned on, and I saw his frame glued to the same part of the bed he had been perched on before, as opposed to, gone and crawling through the shadows like a nightmare. I scowled, chastising myself for being such a scaredy cat. With my stomach rumbling, I reached over to unzip my bag stationed on a nearby ottoman. I pulled a single wrapped cookie from it and took a bite, sliding back into my reclined position, determined to make a dent in my American literature homework. Needed to be halfway done A Brave New World by Aldous Huxley before I went to sleep that night. As I tried to get comfortable, I could tell something was desperately wrong. My throat felt dry and tight. My skin itched. My guts throbbed. The breath in my chest felt coarse, like my lungs were filled to capacity with asphalt pebbles and shards of broken glass. I shot up and grabbed the cookie's packaging. There was no ingredient label on it. My college's annual spring bake sale had been earlier that day, so the treat had probably been individually wrapped by whoever prepared it. My vision blurred. I began wheezing as I stood up and dumped the contents of my backpack on the ground, searching for my EpiPen. I wobbled, rulers and pencils and textbooks raining around my feet. Despite being deathly allergic to pecans, I had only experienced one true episode of anaphylaxis prior to that night. The experience was much worse than I remembered. Felt like my entire body was drying out, desiccating from a grape to a raisin in the blink of an eye. Before I could locate the life-saving medication, I lost consciousness. I don't believe I fully died, not to the same extent that Antonio had, at least. It's hard to say anything about those moments with certainty, though. The next thing I knew, a tidal wave of oxygen was pouring down my newly expanded throat. I forced my eyes open. Antonio was kneeling over me,